Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for a really rather exceptional car. This is a Honda Accord 2 litre Type S automatic petrol. Finished here in silver, as you can see. This is the facelift model on this vintage car. This particular vehicle has covered just 40,000 miles from new. Has had just the one private owner who bought it a few months after the supplying dealer Brindley Honda. I think they must have had it as a demonstrator because they were the only owner before, but it's been kept absolutely beautifully. Front of the car, lights and lenses are clear, intact, exactly as they should be. Front of the car, very, very clean, with just the odd minor little stone chip on the vehicle. Bonnet itself, exceptionally clean. Sorry about that, just wait for a car to go by. Coming to the near side of the vehicle, absolutely mirror smooth, and the panel work looks absolutely stunning. Front wing unmarked, near side front panel. It looks like the alloys have been recently done because they are exceptionally clean. Panel work down the side, really, really clean and tidy, just as I said, with the odd minor mark. And given the fact that it's 15 years old, it is truly exceptional. Come around the back of the vehicle, so you get the front and rear bumper treatments on the Type S's. It's very subtle, but really does add to the look and finish of the car. This one fitted with rear parking sensors, all colour coded to the vehicle. Offside, again, mirror smooth in the panels, absolutely wonderfully clean. It all looks lovely and clean and original. Panel gaps superb, as you'd expect on a Honda. Offside rear alloy again, absolutely perfect. And then main and panel work is exceptionally clean. And final alloys, as I said, it looks like they have just been done because they are lovely and clean. But it really is a very rare and absolutely lovely car. Let's come into the boot area. Big boots on these Accords, and again, it's been kept wonderfully well. Obviously the load liner helps, obviously to protect all fabrics, but it has been kept very, very nicely indeed. It's coming to the back of the car, again, absolutely beautiful condition. So the video will not do justice to just how nice this is. Half leather interior and kept wonderfully, wonderfully well as well. So coming to the driver's side, again, door card, as if all of them look absolutely as new. Footwell areas with the full original Honda mats, again, wonderful. And front passenger seat there, just hardly any use at all. Finally, coming to the driver's door card, again, absolutely unmarked. Footwell areas, wonderfully clean. The driver's seat itself just exhibits virtually no wear at all there. So inside the car now, and it's absolutely like a time warp because it looks pretty much absolutely as new in here. Sat nav working perfectly, as is the climate control system. But really is quite exceptional. Come to the dashboard and hopefully pan in there for you. 40,967 miles. And there are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Video, as I said, simply will not do justice to just how nice and original this car is. Just to quickly show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, both here and present with the car. So finally, just to come under this absolutely beautifully presented engine bay. Honda do this simply wonderfully. And people who love engines know just how good an engine this is and what a wonderful manufacturer Honda is when it comes to petrol engines. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Accord, and it's a 2 litre Type S automatic. This particular car is registered BP55OZF, and mileage at the start of the road test is just 40,952 miles. As I say in all the videos, the reason we do them is very simple. We basically just want anyone that's looking at this car in our advert online to actually get to see that very same car in operation. The reason we think it's important is that we know, unfortunately, to our cost, just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which, whilst it can look fine in the description and the photographs provided, when you get there and drive it, you find out it's got a fundamental issue which shows up whilst you're driving the car. So that's why we do it. It's also done on these very quiet country roads very close to our premises, which forms that part of the road test route anyone would go on. Reason for that is we hope it then be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the vehicle. Coming to the car itself, it's been very, very well looked after, and it just drives absolutely beautifully. As I always do, go through all the major components kind of one by one, starting with the engine, which is probably the best place to start on any Honda car. Engine starts instantly, settles to completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, and temperature gauge is running into third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle. The engine's just an absolute peach. It is a wonder of engineering, because ultimately an engine is basically there to just propel you forward and hopefully be reliable. These engines have a reputation for reliability that's absolutely unmatched, and longevity. Incredibly tough engines with just regular maintenance, lasting hundreds of thousands of miles is the norm for them. But it also happens to be just a lovely unit to sit behind day in, day out, because it's incredibly smooth and refined. It has a kind of a tone and a lack of vibration normally associated with a 6-cylinder engine, not a 4-cylinder engine. Really is just wonderful. They're also, in real world use, very economical as well, by the way. I've had a few of these and got very, very good economy figures back for the cars. Engine then feeds through into the automatic gearbox. As you expect from Honda, the boxes are as strong as the engine. They're, again, beautifully engineered things, and what they've done is obviously they've selected ratios to get the best out of the car in terms of not only the performance of the vehicle but also the economy of the car. But the gear changes are absolutely, as you'd hope, they're slick, they're smooth, to the point of which almost imperceptible. They're and also quite a quick gear change for a conventional automatic gearbox as well. But the gear change absolutely superb on the car. You can also use them in a kind of a manual mode if you so wish. Basically just pull the gear lever to the right hand side here. It's selected to be 5th gear because it's matching the forward speed I'm going at. Quite handy actually if you're doing something like an overtake. So basically, gearboxes haven't got eyes, they don't know what you're going to do. So if I wanted to overtake the car in front, I might want to drop down 4th, 3rd, zoom by, but hold it in gear for longer and change up when I want to, not when the gearbox thinks you want to. It rarely gets used, but it all works absolutely perfectly. Notwithstanding any reputation, you should still do the obvious checks on the gearboxes. Just make sure the gear changes are smooth, and they are indeed, and that also when you select it into drive and reverse, there's no kind of delays or nasty thunks or clonks when they go in, and again, none of which afflicts this car, which I wouldn't expect it to, even with 3 times the miles. Coming to the steering of the car, one of my favourite parts of the vehicle. It's just the perfect power steering setup system. It feels beautifully weighted on the road. I mean, it's obviously light enough at low speeds to be easy to manoeuvre, but it has a kind of a lovely kind of oily weighted feel on the car. On the road, it's very hard to describe. It's what you get from true power steering, not electronic power steering. So you actually get feel back through the steering wheel. It's just perfect, absolutely perfect, because it matches the chassis perfectly as well. They work together so well. It gives you kind of an ability to kind of flow through corners, and yet you can feel kind of the changes in camber and undulation in the road through the steering. Just absolutely brilliant. I can feel zero wear in the power steering system as well, by the way. Track's absolutely dead straight. So I had to go on a straight bit of road to do that. Track's dead straight. There's no vibrations at all at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. The chassis, as I said, superb. It is so comfortable. Sort of just tootling along as I am now. It absorbs the road just wonderfully well, but gives you a brilliant body control and composure. And when you do push it through corners, it does so with a really flat body angles, wonderfully controlled through the corners, and so precise. If I go to this corner a little bit quicker than I would do ordinarily, you basically just turn in one motion, hardly a movement on the steering wheel, body control absolutely superb. And I've driven these in extremes actually on race circuits, doing kind of corporate things for Honda years ago, so I know how they handle on the limit. It is a brilliant chassis. There's also no noises, nasty thunks coming from underneath the vehicle, so all exactly as should be. Brakes on the car, just make sure no one's behind me. A really nice solid brake pedal on the car. What I'm looking for is when you hit the brakes, they should really feel nice and powerful, and they do, but there shouldn't be any kind of pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, of which there's nothing at all. Absolutely perfect. Coming to the interior of the car, first things first, absolutely no squeaks, rattles, buzzers, creaks, nothing at all. Said creaks twice, don't know why, but there we go. They are just brilliantly put together car, and as people know who watch my videos, how frustrated I get with car magazines and online reviewers who, when they test brand new cars, of course, judge build quality at that point. Now, that's almost impossible to do so, because most modern cars are actually pretty well put together. It's how they last over the long term. This car's now 15 years old nearly, and yet it drives and feels, and the quality of the interior is, as you'd expect from a couple of years old. I mean, they are brilliant put together. Switch gear has a wonderful quality of actuation to it. All the buttons have a beautifully damped feel to them. It feels as though they'll last an absolute eternity on the vehicle. It's always nice when people say thank you, but there we go, by the by. Sat nav working absolutely perfectly on the car. You've got a dual zone climate control system, which pumps out absolutely ice cold air, by the way. Dashboard in front, simple, legible, all the information you need and no more. But everything working as it should as well on there. Cruise control, again, all working perfectly. Lovely steering wheel feel. You've got proper sort of leather binding on it. Really great to hold. It really is a truly joyful car. They're not cheap, don't get me wrong, not for this age, but this is why they're sought after, and this is why they're actually relatively expensive compared to what were competitors at the time, which have sort of faded as problems have materialised. But to find a low mileage one in this condition, almost impossible these days, but also one that just drives, as I said, dare I say, it's cliched, and I hate it because it's a motor trade term, but it just drives as if it's new. It really does. And we've been selling Hondas for decades now. I collect classic Hondas, so I'm quite picky with how they should drive, and I just cannot fault it. I cannot fault it in any way. As always though, if you've got any questions about the vehicle, don't hesitate, do give us a call.